Your brand may be staying on top of current trends, but are you agile enough to stay relevant, resilient, and successful as customers, competition, and the world continues to change at a breakneck pace? I'm thrilled to share the newly revised version of my first book, The Agile Brand. I'm calling it The Agile Brand Revisited. It's been updated to reflect our continually changing world, and it provides 7 principles that form the backbone of an agile brand, offering detailed insights and actionable steps for incorporating them into your business strategy. This is the book that started it all, and I'm excited to share it with you. It's now available in print and digital formats and available everywhere. Learn more by going to the Agile Brand Guide website at www.agilebrandguide.com. Welcome to Season 4 of The Agile Brand with Greg Kihlstrom, where we discuss business agility through customer experience, employee experience, and digital transformation. I'm your host, Greg Kihlstrom. The Agile World podcast is brought to you by TEKsystems, an industry leader in full-stack technology services, talent services, and real-world application. For more information, go to teksystems.com. To read more about the topics discussed on this show, you can go to my website at gregkihlstrom.com and read my latest articles or get a copy of my latest book, Meaningful Measurement of the Customer Experience, now available on Amazon and other retailers. My name is Greg Kihlstrom, and I'm the host of the Agile Brand podcast. On this show, we talk a lot about branding, marketing, and customer experience, and those are all aspects that are vital to retailers and brands of all kinds. Today, however, we're going to talk about how warehouse and inventory strategy can make or break peak season shopping for brands and retailers. After all, today is what's known as Black Friday, which is still a critical point in the calendar for brands and retailers of all kinds. To help me discuss this topic, I'd like to welcome Tina Williams, Vice President of Client Success at Ware2Go, a UPS company. Tina, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Greg. Happy to be here.
Yeah, looking forward to talking about this with you. So why don't we start by you giving a little background on your role at Ware2Go, as well as what Ware2Go offers its customers.
Absolutely. So my role at Ware2Go is leading the client success team. So, personally, my background is I grew up as the child of 2 immigrants. So I have this strong kind of entrepreneurial roots that have helped me have a strong appreciation for what SMBs are looking for and how to find trusted partners to help them pursue their dreams. As head of client success, my job is to advocate on behalf of our clients. I've spent my career working in fast-growing tech startups. And so, I love the challenge of streamlining business process through technology and providing clients with consultative solutions that just make their jobs easier. Thinking a little bit about the Ware2Go client. So, we're an innovative startup. We're owned by UPS and are focused on helping merchants of all sizes compete and grow. We provide both services and technology that helps them get their products all the way from their manufacturer to the end consumer. So, thinking about that transportation across the ocean, all the way to, select warehouses that are located near their actual end consumers, and then doing the pick, pack, and shipping to get their orders to their final mile into their customers' hands. As a UPS company, we can provide clients with a high-end, reliable shipping experience at a reasonable cost. And, we serve clients all the way from entrepreneurs who are just getting started to Fortune 100 brands who are looking for opportunities to supplement their e-commerce operations or do special projects.
Wonderful. Well, so we're here today to talk about how warehouse and inventory strategy is critical to the success of a retailer. So let's start by looking at this from the business or the retailer's perspective. Ware2Go recently released a report called Peak 2022 Competitive Differentiators for SMBs, or small and medium-sized businesses. In it, there are several interesting insights. The first one I want to talk about is how businesses can meet customer expectations. According to the report, in 2021, consumers in general had lower expectations for timely shipping. 57% said they had lower expectations. But in 2022, only 16% have lower expectations, and 65% of consumers expect small brands to ship as fast or faster than major chains. So what does all this mean for that SMB retailer that might still struggle to meet consumer expectations?
Yeah, it's interesting. Customers have an insatiable need for speed, and it just keeps growing. I see e-commerce as like the great equalizer. No one knows if you're selling from Rodeo Drive or from your basement, and they have no idea if you're an organization of 1 or 1,000 employees. So you have the ability to provide a high-end experience and that Amazon-esque 1 to 2 day fast shipping by partnering with someone like Where2Go.
Yeah, yeah. In that same report, 59% of the SMBs surveyed stated that margins have shrunk, largely due to the supply chain. Is absorbing those costs generally the right move? 19%, for instance, stated that that's what they've been doing, simply absorbing those costs. And what can these retailers do so that supply chain issues don't impede their ability to grow and expand?
Yeah, it really depends on, the client's business. So, margins are different in different types of products. And so, more than ever, businesses really need to be smart about how they manage their costs. So, for example, if you are absorbing the cost of shipping, thinking about incentives, how can you incent your buyers to purchase more than one product? Typically, if you ship two of something, it costs incrementally less than shipping two individual units separately. So thinking about those types of strategies is really critical. And, for businesses that are able to increase the costs, being thoughtful about how you do that in a way that still allows you to maintain your client base. So, if you're in a lower margin category, you might think about creative options like how can I bundle these products and do in different ways so that the increases in costs don't impact your margins as dramatically.
Yeah, yeah. Another statistic here. So 74% of shoppers are shifting their buying habits this holiday season due to economic factors, and 42% of merchants anticipate lower holiday sales this year. How can SMBs strive for a profitable holiday season despite consumer fears of an economic downturn?
Yeah, thoughtful planning and cost management is kind of the key here. Merchants really need to think about what makes sense for their business. Should they have a sale or promotion to drive interest? If they aren't already providing fast and free shipping options, should they partner with someone like Where2Go to help them stand out in their market? For clients, who have slow or low moving inventory, considering buy one get one free offers. You get that dead inventory out of your warehouses and reduce that cost to hold inventory that is no longer relevant for your business. And then another thing we see a lot of clients doing is thinking about loyalty or subscription programs that they can offer. Those things really provide additional benefits to their consumers. It can help them grow and drive interest. And then, the final thing I'd say is they really need to think about marketing. So what we've seen with a lot of our clients is looking for opportunities to expand and broaden exposure. So, if they're only selling through their own website, thinking about how do they expand into channels like the Amazons, Walmarts, or Targets of the world to help drive additional sales?
Yeah, yeah. So we've been looking at this from the smaller medium business perspective. Now let's look at this a little bit from the customer perspective. According to that report I mentioned earlier, 83% of consumers report that they often discover new brands when shopping online. This presents a big opportunity for smaller businesses, but these businesses also need to be ready to compete with the larger brands on things customers value, some of the things you mentioned already. What should these SMB retailers be doing to stand out and remain competitive?
Yeah, like we talked about earlier, like SMBs have this great opportunity to kind of fake it till they make it.
Yeah.
They can provide fast 1 to 2 day shipping, and no one will really recognize that that's a different experience for them. So, having partners, like a Where2Go that can help you focus on your business, focus on your strategy and your growth while knowing that someone's taking care of getting that product from your manufacturer to your end consumer can be like adding a whole new department to your organization. So essentially you get that big company experience within a smaller organization, which saves you time, which is such a crucial asset for these SMBs.
Yeah, yeah. So it's been a turbulent year for retailers. The report says that 23% of businesses overbought inventory and 19% bought the wrong inventory because consumers shifted their buying behavior. What lessons are SMBs taking into the new year to ensure they're not stuck in the same boat?
Like every business, SMBs need to be very diligent in not only what they need to do, but also what they need to stop doing. You may not have a crystal ball, but you do have data. So understanding your consumers' buying behavior is really important. And Where to Go works with a lot of our clients to provide them data to help them eliminate less profitable, slower moving SKUs. This can really be a great approach to help you monitor market shifts, think about the go forward plans for your business, and get rid of unnecessary costs. End of year is also a great time to clean up dead inventory, great time to do donations. So rethinking your approach and having a good plan to support the future needs of your customers is really important.
Yeah, yeah. Also, sustainability also seems to be a growing priority among consumers. In 2021, 61% of consumers said they were more concerned about sustainability, and that number grew to 74% in 2022. What can retailers do to help address these concerns while balancing high expectations about speed of shipping?
Yeah, absolutely. Sustainability continues to be a focus for our merchants and their end consumers. Our clients are fortunate because Where to Go provides carbon neutral shipping for all of our clients as part of our service offering. We also have a marketing toolkit they can use on their own sites to promote this experience to their end consumers. In addition, another thing we think about a lot is warehouse placement. So, ensuring your warehouses are at optimal locations to reduce that carbon footprint. And placing your inventory as close to the end consumer as possible can really make an impact.
So there's a lot that goes into the details of fulfillment, and often a lot of hidden costs or things that some SMBs may just simply not understand, particularly if they're new to this or other factors. How can these small and medium businesses think about these issues, and what should they be looking for as they're comparing options?
Yeah, absolutely. The world of supply chain can be very difficult to kind of unbundle because there's so many hidden costs and accessorials that new businesses might not be familiar with. So it's really important that you ask a lot of questions. And when you're comparing different options and providers, and even looking at your own facilities and kind of the hidden costs in your own operations, to really look at it holistically. So I would certainly suggest that you ask all of the detailed questions. How are residential fees applied? What kind of special handling costs might happen if I have large or bulky product? And making sure that when you're looking at the different options, you're not just taking kind of the surface value information, but you're understanding how all of that will come into play to impact your final costs. For example, things like the carbon offset that we talked about, like that's included with Where to Go with with a lot of different organizations. That's something you'd have to pay for in addition. So being a knowledgeable consumer is really important, and certainly in the supply chain world, asking as many questions as possible will position those businesses to make the right choices.
So, how do you recommend that SMBs approach forecasting?
Forecasting is one of those things that is so critical when you're really thinking about planning for a successful peak season. It's something that, our warehouse partners are asking us for because they have to plan for the staffing to make sure that your orders do get shipped quickly and your end consumers aren't facing delays. So, making sure that you have good data, that you're looking at historical data, applying the changes that have happened in your business and providing the most reliable, accurate forecasts just ensures that all of the stream teams are ready and able to provide you with a great experience and provide your clients with a great experience.
So, one last question before we wrap up here. What's a piece of advice that you would have for these small and medium sized business retailers as they both finish out this holiday season? Again, it's Black Friday today, so we're right in the midst of it here, and as they start to plan for the year ahead.
Yeah, so one thing that I have found is you can never start too early in planning. We're right in the midst of it, but time sneaks up on you, especially during this busy season. And like every year, it seems like your holiday decorations are going up earlier and earlier. Our teams are working to bring timelines up and start our planning process earlier to make sure that we're ready and anticipating, what might be happening in the upcoming year. So, thinking about your plans and taking the time to step back and really be proactive about, your organization's goals for the coming year. How do you want your business to evolve? And then taking the time to talk to your supply chain partners. They can help you and really provide guidance to make sure that they're able to support your goals.
Yeah. Well, Tina, thanks so much for joining the show. For those listening, what's the best way for them to keep up with what you and Where to Go are doing?
Absolutely. So, you can visit us on LinkedIn. Where to Go is constantly posting updates. You can follow me, Tina Williams, at LinkedIn as well. And, happy to connect with anyone who has questions.
That's great. Well, again, I'd like to thank Tina Williams, Vice President of Client Success at Where to Go, a UPS company, for joining the show. We'll also have a link to the report as well as the Where to Go website if you want to learn more. Thanks for listening to The Agile Brand with Greg Kihlstrom. Talk with you next week. Thanks again for listening to the Agile Brand with Greg Kihlstrom podcast, brought to you by TEKsystems. If you enjoyed the show, please take a minute to subscribe on your podcast channel of choice and leave us a rating so that others can find the show more easily. You can access more episodes of the show at www.theagilebrand.show. To get a copy of my latest book, Meaningful Measurement of the Customer Experience, visit my website at gregkihlstrom.com. Until next week, stay agile.